Hi there! Welcome to our daily devotion. This is our second video, and this daily devotion is inspired by the book of Priscilla Shirer entitled Awaken. So, Priscilla Shirer is one of the women of God that I really look up to. I listen to her sermons, and all the time, there is always a conviction in my heart every time I do. So I've been using this book for some time now, and I felt like it would be nice if I could share it with you. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to record everything on this book on a daily basis, which also we can do to follow for our devotion every day. So since this is our second video, we are going to read through day 2 of this devotional book. This is a 90-day devotional book. And the title of our devotion for today is, What Do You Have? And our scripture for this devotion is taken from 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 2. And it reads, Elisha asked her, What can I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? So this scripture actually is taken from the story about a widow who just lost her husband, and her husband was in debt. And then because of that, those who his husband owed to came to her and told her that they will take away her children as payment for the debt. And of course, this widow was so heartbroken. And then she went to the prophet Elisha and told Prophet Elisha about her situation. And this is what Prophet Elisha asked her. What can I do for you? If you want to read more about this story, you go to 2 Kings chapter 4. Then you will be able to read the whole story about this widow. As we read through this, I'm going to insert some of my thoughts, and I hope that it's going to bless you as well. So let's read on. A common link nearly always exists between our needs and God's answers. A thread woven into the fabric of our relationship with a Father that, if overlooked, can cost us the most intimate and majestic experience with Him possible on this side of eternity. And in 2 Kings 4, this critical strand is clearly marked for all of us to see. A woman, bereft of husband and financial stability, came to the prophet Elisha requesting help. Creditors were demanding payment for the debt she owed, threatening even to take her children away as part of the bargain. She was desperate, crying out, unable to pay, unable to do much at all. The man of God graciously listened to her plight. He asked how she thought he could assist her. But before even waiting for her response to that question, he posed another more vital one. What do you have? He asked. In the house? What resources are already available to you? How easily we point to our lack. How specifically we highlight our deficiency. How quickly we become consumed with the glaring evidence of all that's working against us. The hardships that are pressing us into such desperate straits. We are far less inclined to accentuate the gifts and blessings that remain. But Elisha, in refocusing the widow's attention on the meager pot of oil, sitting there amid all her difficulty and hardship, forever changed the way she would look at her most heart-wrenching need. Let me just pause here for a while, because these words really hit me straight to the heart when I first read this. Like for instance, most of the time, we are always focusing on what we do not have. in our most desperate moments, when we have nothing, when we are about to lose everything. And this one, right now we are in the middle of the pandemic. We are in the middle of COVID-19. You may watch this later on, years after. But we are in the pandemic right now. We are in a crisis. And a lot of us are almost robbed out of everything that we own. A lot of us don't have a job. A lot of us are losing their businesses. In fact, we ourselves, me and my husband, we are hanging by a thread with our business because of this crisis with this pandemic. And it's always easy to say and focus on the things that we do not have, or the things that we have lost, or the things that we are deficient of, that we don't have enough of. But here, the words of Prophet Elisha saying, "What do you have?" So it makes me think, indeed, yeah, what do I have? It can change the way we look at our situation too. Okay, when we change our perspective, when we change our focus. Like a glint of sunshine passing through ominous clouds on a dreary day, hope pierced through the darkness in her home. The foundation for a miracle was right under her nose. If only she would have taken the time and energy required to go and look. If she only would have become as invested in expecting God's answer as she'd been invested in lodging her complaints. It's so true. Most of the time when we are in a need situation, we are so invested focusing on our complaints, self-pity. We are always focused on how sad we are, how pitiful the situation is. But why not invest and expect God's answers? What do you have in your house? In your house? Within your reach? Sometimes we wait impatiently on God when He is patiently waiting on us, waiting for us to recognize what He has already given us as part of the answer to our problem. What little pot of oil have you neglected to notice? What little shred of possibility have you chosen to ignore? What little patch of time have you disparaged? What little hints of blessings have you criticized as insufficient? What little humble beginnings have you shoved to the back of the shelf, considering them unworthy of being the basis for God's miraculous intentions? What are the little things in our life that we always take for granted? Is this time? Is this family? Is this the food that we have on our table? What is it in your house or also in my house that maybe is already God's answer to all our questions, to all our prayers? Maybe the answer you've been praying for is already there. A plain as day response from God to your plea, immediately ready to be applied to the situation. God will always be faithful to help you through the desperate challenges you face, even this COVID-19. How desperate are you now in this situation? How much have you lost? How much do you have? Some things, obviously, only He can do. But take a good look around to see what's already at your disposal. That little jar of oil may well be the beginning of the most spectacular move of God that you have ever seen. So this widow, when she approached Prophet Elisha, she said that she had nothing but this little pot of oil. She focused on what little she had. But the moment that she refocused and looked at that as an opportunity or as a blessing from God, that what she has actually right there in front of her is the beginning of the great and wonderful miracles that the Lord has prepared for her. Because what happens after that in the story, Elisha told her rather, to go to her neighbors and gather all the empty pots. And then eventually the Lord filled it with oil. This is such a beautiful, beautiful message for me, especially at this time right now, where everybody is suffering, where everybody is losing loved ones because of the crisis, because of this pandemic. A lot of my friends have relatives who died. Even I have friends whom I personally know, relatives as well, who died because of this COVID. And it seems sometimes when we are not careful, we can just focus on these losses, on these things that are gone and leaving us very little. But this is a message of hope. From the words of Priscilla Shirer through her book, she's telling us that sometimes we wait impatiently on God when He is patiently waiting on us to see those little things that He has already given us right in front of us. He's just waiting for us to come to Him and allow Him to work miraculously on those little things so that He can use it to bless us greatly. There's another scripture here from Matthew 6:33, and it says, "Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." No matter how little we have, how much oil we have in our jar, so long as we seek ye first His kingdom and His righteousness, all these things shall be added unto us. So here's something for you to ponder before we end this video. And it says, or it asks, what are some of the jars of oil you might be overlooking right now that He's already provided you? Make a list and keep it handy for future gratitude and reflection. Make a list, my friend. Another verse from 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 3, it reads, "His divine power has given us everything required for life and godliness through the knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness." 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 3. So to all of you who are watching right now, I hope that you have been blessed by this devotion by Priscilla Shirer from her book called Awaken. And I hope that no matter what your circumstance is right now, no matter how little you think you have left because of this pandemic, because of this crisis, always remember that the Lord can always fill your jar. Just seek Him first, His kingdom and His righteousness, because all these things shall be added unto you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day, and always remember that Jesus is the only way, the truth, and the life. Thank you, and God bless you all.